Nancy Hernandez and the Black Widows. Our story takes place at Sepulveda High School, a tough inner-city school. It was night. The school was closed, but the door to the girls' locker room suddenly swung open. A female student, Maria, poked her head and looked around. She turned back to two friends.
It's empty, yo. I don't see no custodians. Come on!
Maria and her friends entered.
Dang, this place is kind of creepy.
You wanna pussy out? Come on.
The three snuck through the empty locker room, checking the numbers on the lockers. They slowly approached locker 374. You've been tagged up with a variety of messages. Beware. Rest in peace. The three students looked at each other.
There it is. Everyone says if you open it, her ghost will reach out and grab you.
Bullshit.
Do it then.
It was your idea. You do it.
Fine, chicken shits.
Maria started to reach for the locker. But just then, an unnerving scratching sound was heard.
Wait, what's that?
I don't know.
Maybe we should bounce?
Great idea.
Hold up.
Maria pointed to a window above their heads. The branch of a tree was swaying in the wind and rubbing against it.
It's just a stupid branch.
Knew it.
Whatever. Get it over with. I don't like the vibe in here.
Maria reached out and slowly took hold of the latch for locker number 374.
1,
2,
2.
3.
On 3, the students swung the locker door open. They peered inside. The locker was completely empty.
See, told you it was bootleg.
Just then, they heard a sound behind them. They turned slowly around. The door of the locker behind them was shaking and rattling, as if something was inside, trying to get out. Then they heard a voice. Suddenly, blood gushed out of the locker. The student screamed in terror and ran. But you want to know something? I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's go back 2 months before the little visit to the locker room. Our story really began not far from Sepulveda High, inside a little church. In one of the pews sat a young girl, Nancy Hernandez, 18. She was a smart but somewhat troubled, straight-laced Latino girl dressed in a school uniform. She was kneeling in prayer in front of the altar. Behind her, her little sister Esmeralda, 15, sat in the pew, looking bored, sketching in a notebook. She was shy and a bit of a nerd. After Nancy finished praying, she crossed herself and stood up, staring at the statue of Jesus, thinking deep thoughts. Suddenly, a loud female voice barked out at her, making her jump.
Nancy!
Nancy turned and saw Sister Chola, a nun with a face like a pit bull, hovering over her.
I gotcha!
That's not nice, Sister Chola.
I don't know, lady. Have some fun.
Can I ask you something, Sister Chola? If good girls go to heaven and the bad ones go to hell, what happens to the in-between ones?
Sister Chola thought for a second, then shrugged.
Hell if I know. Pero si yo fuera tú, no me preocuparía.
Sister Chola turned to Esmeralda.
How you doing, Esme? Let me see your drawing.
Esmeralda showed her sketch without saying a word. It was a beautiful drawing of an anime princess.
I love it. Now get your asses to school, pues, ándale. And get A's. Make me proud.
The Hernandez sisters hustled out. The Sister Chola shook her head. A few blocks away from the little church, in an even rougher part of the hood, a school bus was idling in front of a beat-up apartment building. Sitting behind the wheel, listening to his favorite metal band, was Wolfface. The kids called him that because his acne-scarred face and beard made him look like the Wolfman. Wolfface was staring at himself in the rearview mirror, trying to pop a zit on his chin.
There we go. Hold still.
Zit juice hit the mirror. Wolfface smiled. Just then an anxious student sitting behind him called out.
Yo, Wolfface! Can we bounce already?
Just chill, bro. She'll be here.
Wolfface began laying on the horn. Inside one of the units, Shorty stood in front of the bathroom mirror, ignoring the honking as she put on the last touches of her makeup. True to her nickname, she was small, but deadly. She had a tattoo of a spider on her shoulder. A Black Widow spider.
Yo, I'm almost done.
Shorty walked out, sauntering past her mother, who was asleep on the couch, next to an empty six-pack. A few moments later, Shorty ambled up onto the bus. Wolfface looked at her and shook his head.
About time. I thought I was gonna have to send out a search party.
Shorty cranked up her middle finger at him, but Wolfface just laughed and closed the door behind her. Shorty made her way down the aisle of the bus. As she walked along, kids slunk down in their seats and looked away, avoiding eye contact. She finally arrived at the back seat, where the rest of the Black Widow gang was sitting. There were 5 girls. Each had her own nickname: Face, Tattletale, Roach, Ratita, and Pollita, the crazy chicken. And their newest wannabe member, Dulce.
What's up, bitches?
What's up, chick?
What up, girl?
What's up, bitch?
Shorty took a seat next to Face, a beautiful but vain girl.
Yo, Face, do I look wretched?
Face gave her the once-over.
Fix your lash. Try this too. It's fire.
Face handed her some lipstick. As Shorty put it on, Pollita, a girl with some mental health issues, began to tease her.
Check Shorty out, y'all. She'll be getting all dolled up for someone special. I wonder who it could be.
Ratita, a vicious girl who happened to look a little bit like a rat, chimed in.
Let me think. Could it be your ex Clemente, perhaps?
Ooh.
Tattletale, a girl who loved to spread lies and gossip, joined in.
Clemente and Shorty too. The remix. I'm putting that shit on blast.
Not even. I'm like so over that straight-laced mama's boy.
If you're so over the homie, why you got his band shit all over your playlist?
I like ska. So what? Super pantallas.
Roach, a big girl who was the muscle of the gang, smiled and patted Shorty on the arm.
We fuck with you because we love you, boss.
You know we rooting for ya. We want your coochie to be happy.
Just then, Roach pointed to a new girl, sitting a few rows ahead of them.
Hey, you recognize that bitch?
Shorty eyed the new girl and shook her head.
Nuh-uh. She must be new.
Fresh meat.
I like her iPods. They look new, too.
The widows all exchanged knowing looks. Oblivious to the widows, the new girl sat in her seat, bopping her head to a song on her iPhone. Suddenly, the new girl noticed that Ratita was leaning over the seat, looking at her with a twisted smile. The new girl turned her head and saw that Pollita was on the other side of her, staring at her with a crazy look in her eye.
Hi?
Suddenly, Shorty plopped down on the seat beside her.
Excuse me. Is this seat taken?
No.
Great. Shorty.
Nice to meet you. I'm Maria.
Oh, what a pretty name. Are you new here, Maria?
Yep, my family just moved here from Southtown.
No shit. Oh, she's a country girl, y'all.
Wow. Welcome to the big city. Thanks.
Oh, are those new iPods?
Yes. I just got these for my birthday. They sound super amazing.
Bet. Can I have a listen?
Shorty winked at Roach, and she suddenly smashed her hands against the new girl's head. The blow stunned the new girl and knocked the iPods out of her ears. Ratita covered her mouth and shoved the new girl's face into the bus seat. Shorty picked up the iPods and put them on casually.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm feeling these. So much better than my old ones.
Hearing the ruckus, Wolfface glanced into his rearview mirror.
Hey, what's going on back there?
Nothing, Wolfie. We're just chilling, listen to music.
Sounds good.
Wolfface went back to driving as the widows held the terrified girl down on the seat. Shorty took out the iPods and put them in her pocket.
Oh, these are so lit. Thanks. And if you say anything about this to anyone,
Roach whipped out a knife and waved it in front of the new girl's eyes.
we'll cut your fucking eyeball out. Got it?
The new girl nodded as tears rolled down her face. Meanwhile, at that moment across town, Nancy Hernandez stood at the entrance of Sepulveda High School. She was wearing a day-glow vest that read Leadership Squad on the back. She was directing students into the school.
No pushing, no shoving. Please?
Just then, Tico, a slightly overweight kid, tried to sneak past Nancy, chewing on a big wad of chewing gum.
Stop. You know the rules, Tico. No gum on campus.
Come on, Judge Judy, why you gotta do me like that?
Nancy ignored his whining and held up a plastic bag filled with confiscated gum.
Tyrant.
Tico rolled his eyes and reluctantly spit out his wad. As he sauntered off, Nancy looked at the gum bag and made a disgusted face.
Ugh.
Just then, a male voice spoke to Nancy from behind.
Yum.
Nancy turned and saw Clemente standing there. They'd been friends since the 9th grade in band. But Nancy was the good girl nerd. Clemente had become the coolest guy on campus. Everybody loved his band, Waco Mundo. Nancy had always had a secret crush on Clemente, but he was way out of her league. Or so she thought.
You want some?
Nah, I'm good.
I hate this pinche job, Clemente.
Yeah, I know. Well, someone's gotta keep these scrubs in line. Try to look at the bright side. At least you look awesome in that vest.
I'm gonna dump this entire bag on your head.
Come, chill, dude.
You know I'm only doing this lame-ass crap because I need the service credits for my college application. You really gotta rub it in?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a dick. I just came by to give you one of these and ask a favor.
Clemente pulled a flyer out of his backpack and handed it to Nancy.
Dude, you're playing in the Halloween dance? That's awesome, bro.
Thanks. I already wrote a bunch of new songs for it, but the thing is, I'm not sure if they work, so...
You want me to listen to them?
I mean, you have the best ear of anyone in school, and the best voice. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, this one song I wrote would be perfect for you. Yeah.
You know I'm way too shy to go on stage with you guys.
Doesn't have to be on stage, I could always record you.
I know.
Look, don't stress about it. You know, if it happens, it happens.
Just then, Nancy noticed the Black Widows approaching. Clemente spotted Shorty and made a face.
Oh shit, here comes my ex. I gotta bounce.
I gotta roll too. Oh, where are you guys rehearsing at?
Band room, after school.
Alright. See you there, fool.
See ya.
Clemente gave her a thumbs up. As he walked away, Shorty called out.
Clem! Wait up!
Sorry, Shorty, gotta run. Text me.
Clemente dashed off. Shorty looked hurt and pissed. She glanced over and spotted Nancy, tucking Clemente's flyer into her bag. A look of suspicion and jealousy played across Shorty's face. She turned to the widows.
Come on, bitches.
Shorty stomped away, and the widows followed her. Nearby, Miss Buckwald, an idealistic young teacher, was looking around in a slight panic, trying to find her classroom. It was her first day. She was on the phone with her boyfriend. He wasn't being much help.
I still don't get why you have to work there when you could be making twice as much teaching rich brats on the west side.
Rich brats don't need me. These kids do.
You're too nice, babe. That's your tragic flaw. There's no point wasting your time trying to get hood rats to read Shakespeare. You're gonna get burnt out and quit like 2 months, tops.
Thanks for the pep talk.
Just being real.
I gotta go. Love you.
Bye.
She had finally arrived at the classroom she was looking for. A line of students was waiting outside, including Nancy Hernandez and the Black Widows.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late.
Buckwald unlocked the door and the students filed in. As the students walked into the classroom, Tico, the slightly chubby kid who Nancy took the gum from, turned to Miss Buckwald.
You this,
No, actually I'm your new permanent teacher, Ms. Buckwald.
So, what happened to Miss Asada?
Yeah. People will be saying that she finally got fed up and quit.
Just then, Shorty butted in.
Nah, I heard the whole story. The horny old lady tried to seduce Gordo over there, but got caught and was sent to prison.
Retita sneered at Miss Buckwald.
Huh. You want to seduce us too? You gonna get down with the brown?
Hey, that kind of language is not appropriate.
Seriously? Where you think you at? We're the widows, bitch. We run this shitty school. You better recognize.
What's your name?
Shorty. What's up?
You call me bitch again, Shorty. I'm sending your butt straight to the dean. Okay, new rule. From now on, we only use appropriate language in this class.
Does that mean we can't say shit?
Or dick?
What about motherfucker?
Stop! Enough! Jeez, you guys are something else. No wonder Miss Asada killed herself. Oops. I shouldn't have said that.
Hold up. For reals? Miss Asada committed suicide?
How'd she do it? Did she, blow her brains out or something?
No, in fact, it's totally weird and gross. But I'm sorry, Dean Chantel made me promise to keep it a secret.
Oh, come on! Spill the tea!
Everyone erupted with pleas to hear the juicy details.
Come on, tell us!
Tell us!
Okay, I'll make you a deal. You do some work for me, and I'll tell you the whole gruesome story.
How much work are we talking about?
Practically nothing. Just a few easy worksheets.
The students considered the proposition. Nancy looked intrigued. So did everyone else, even Shorty.
Screw it. I'm in.
30 minutes later, Nancy collected the last of the worksheets and handed them to Miss Buckwald.
Okay, we did all your stupid work. Now tell us how that old bitch killed herself.
Very well. Shut the blinds.
Nancy closed the blinds, then took a seat. Everyone was sitting up in their chairs, intrigued.
According to the dean, Miss Asada was totally stressed out. This class was the worst she ever had. In fact, you guys abused her so mercilessly that finally, she went totally bonkers and wandered into the city zoo one night. According to the police, she broke into the polar bear exhibit and did a swan dive into the middle of the pond. The bears tore her to pieces. By the time it was over, all they found was bones and this.
Miss Buckwald reached into her pocket and pulled out a human tooth. The students let out a collective gasp. Nancy looked horrified and disgusted. Shorty shook her head.
Bullshit, that's just a chiclet.
No, it's real. Look.
Students crowded around Buckwald and examined the tooth. It was a real one, all right.
Oh my god.
Just then the bell rang.
Ah, there's the bell. Thanks for all the hard work, people. I'll see y'all mañana.
The students left. Nancy was the last one to head out the classroom. As she headed out the door, she turned to Miss Buckwald with an amused expression on her face.
I won't say nothing, but I know Miss Asada wasn't eaten by no damn polar bear. I work in the dean's office. Miss Chantel told me she's retired.
Miss Buckwald nodded and smiled.
My favorite teacher growing up was this guy, Mr. Vincent. He used to tell us ghost stories to motivate us to do our classwork work. I thought I'd try the same technique.
Where'd you get the tooth?
Oh, it's mine. I had my wisdom teeth pulled recently, and I kept one as a souvenir.
You're weird, lady. But kind of smart, too.
Thanks. I think you're pretty smart, too, Nancy.
Whatever. Later.
Nancy left. Miss Buckwald smiled as she watched her go. It was lunchtime. The Black Widows sat at a table together, facing the wannabe widow, Dulce. She was eating a candy bar.
So, you want to be one of us, eh, Dulce?
Does Dulce like candy?
Dulce took a big bite of her chocolate bar.
Dang. This bitch got a sweet tooth for reals.
This is phase 1 of your initiation. You ready?
Hell yeah.
Good. Blade.
Roach handed Shorty a knife.
Put your hand on the table.
Dulce slowly put her hand, palm down on the tabletop, and spread her trembling fingers wide. Shorty started to quickly stab the table between Dulce's fingers with the blade, just missing her flesh. Shorty went faster and faster until the knife was just a blur. Finally, Shorty stopped. Dulce breathed a sigh of relief.
Voila. I'm glad it's over.
It's never over.
Shorty grabbed Dulce's hand and jabbed the blade into Dulce's pinky. Blood spurted out. Dulce started to scream, but Poyetta covered her mouth.
Widows don't cry. We multiply.
Shorty picked up the candy bar off the table. She dipped it in Dulce's blood and shoved it into Dulce's quivering mouth.
Congrats, you passed phase 1. I'm proud of you.
Shorty patted Dulce on the back. She smiled weakly and swallowed her tears.
Hey guys. Just out of curiosity, what's phase 2?
The Black Widows just laughed. Across campus, Nancy's little sister, Esmeralda, was sitting by herself, eating her lunch, drawing in her sketchbook. Just then, 2 boys approached her. One of the boys, a little punk named Ricky, knocked Esmeralda's sketchbook out of her hands and then stepped on it.
Hello, loser.
Can you step off my sketchbook, please?
Sorry, my bad.
Ricky took his foot off the sketchbook, but he didn't hand it back. Instead, he picked it up and flipped through the pages.
Yo, these drawings are kind of tight. I had no idea you were so talented.
Thanks. Can I have my sketchbook back?
Sure, but you have to pay the ransom first.
We'll give you a choice. $10, or you give us each a hand job behind the gym.
Just then, an angry girl's voice rang out. It was Nancy.
Give it back to her, shithead.
Yo, our big sister's coming in for backup.
So? My cousin Roach is in the Black Widows. You mess with us, and she'll put a cap in your ass.
Whatever. Just give her the book.
Okay. Sure.
Ricky opened up Esmeralda's notebook and ripped a page out. He crumbled it up and tossed it at Esmeralda's feet.
There you go.
Esmeralda looked heartbroken. Nancy's eyes narrowed as rage boiled inside of her. Suddenly, Nancy grabbed Ricky and twisted his arm behind his back. The other boy tried to charge her, but she spun around and kicked him in the chest, knocking the wind out of him.
Listen up, you little shits. Don't you ever go near my sister again. Got it?
Nancy twisted Ricky's arm.
Yeah. I got it.
Nancy released Ricky. He ran off with his friend, shouting back at Nancy.
I'm gonna text my cousin. You dead bitch.
As they disappeared, Esmeralda shook her head.
That was actually dumb. Now they're gonna try to get you jumped.
You can't just let people bully you, Esmeralda. You'll get a rep for being weak, and it'll never stop.
Esmeralda shrugged.
Better than getting jumped.
Nancy picked her phone off the ground. In the scuffle, someone had stepped on it. The screen was smashed.
Great. Now my screen is ruined. Son of a bitch!
Nancy kicked a trash can in frustration.
God, I am so sick of this rotten piece of shit school.
You know, sis, you should really talk to someone about those anger issues.
You know what, maybe you should... Ugh. Never mind.
Esmeralda started to walk away.
Hey! Where are you going?
I don't know. I think I just need to be alone right now.
Nancy watched her go, feeling dejected.
You're welcome!
A couple hours later, on the far side of campus, was a weathered greenhouse. Built in brighter days, the greenhouse was now in ruins, tagged up and falling apart. Inside, standing against a wall, was Dulce, the wannabe Black Widow. On the other side of the greenhouse were the Black Widows. Ratita was holding a large bucket covered with a towel.
Phase 2 of your initiation is my personal favorite. I caught these suckers in my traps last night.
Ratita pulled the towel off the bucket to reveal a half dozen dead rats. But some were still twitching.
Grab 'em, girls.
The Black Widows reached into the bucket and each took hold of a bloody rat. Against the wall, Dulce gulped.
You move, and you'll be kibbles and bits for my pit bull.
Ratita held onto a half-dead rat. It was struggling in her hand.
This one's my gold medal winner.
He's got a gold medal? In what?
Eating flesh.
Ratita laughed and hurled her half-dead rat at Dulce. The rat just missed her and hit the wall with a bloody splat. The Black Widows began throwing their rats at Dulce. Splat, splat, splat. They crashed into the walls all around her as she dodged out of the way. Finally, the rodent barrage stopped. Dulce looked around at the rat carnage and breathed a sigh of relief.
Gracias.
Then suddenly, Face threw her last rat. It tumbled through the air and landed right on Dulce's face and clung there. Dulce screamed and clawed the rat off. Shorty walked over to the half-dead rat and stomped on it. She patted Dulce on the shoulder.
You did good, homegirl. You almost a widow now.
Tattletale bent over and picked up one of the dead rats by the tail. She wiggled it in front of Dulce.
Hey, Dulce, you hungry? We gonna make some rat stew.
Dulce bent over and puked. A short distance away from the greenhouse, Nancy Hernandez was walking along. She was patrolling the campus. Just then, she heard the voice of Officer Mann, the campus security officer, on her walkie-talkie.
Patrol 1, this is Officer Mann. Can you hear me? Over.
Hey, Officer Mann. This is Nancy. I can hear you loud and clear. Over.
I saw some sketchy dudes near the parking lot. They took off in your direction when I approached. See anything? Over.
Nancy looked around but didn't see anyone.
Nope. All quiet on the western front. Over.
Okay. Report back immediately if you see something. Over and out.
Nancy continued her patrol. Then, suddenly, she spotted figures moving around inside the broken-down greenhouse. Nancy crept up to it and peeked through the broken window. Inside the greenhouse, Nancy could see the Black Widows passing a joint around. Nancy glanced down at her walkie-talkie. Should she? She shook her head.
No.
Nancy quietly retreated from the greenhouse, but she backed right up into a dark figure. Nancy spun around. It was Officer Mann.
Nancy? What are you doing?
Nothing, just keeping an eye out for them sketchy dudes.
See anything sus?
Nancy shook her head.
All right, the bell's gonna ring. Let's head back to HQ.
They started to walk away, but then Officer Mann suddenly stopped and sniffed the air.
Hold up. You smell that? Someone around here is hitting the chronic.
Officer Mann followed the scent, sniffing the air like a bloodhound.
Wait here. Don't move.
Shit.
Officer Mann rushed over to the greenhouse. She swung the door open and came face to face with the Black Widows, passing their joint.
Well, well. The Black Widows. What a surprise.
Hijo de gran puta.
End of chapter 1. Stay tuned for the next episode of Nancy Hernandez and the Black Widow.